Welcome to Ayurvedic Pathshala. If you like the videos, hit like and subscribe and keep watching.
Hello students, today I am going to discuss with you on the further topic related to neonatal jaundice, that is pathological jaundice. And today in this video I am going to talk about the various causes which are behind the rise of pathological jaundice, including hemolytic disease of newborn, breast milk jaundice, and some genetic disorders in which there occurs pathological jaundice in newborns. So first of all, what is pathological jaundice? In our previous video of physiological jaundice, I have discussed with you in detail about what is physiological jaundice and what are the factors responsible for that. And if there is variation from physiological jaundice in the time of appearance, in duration, in pattern, or there is special risk of neurotoxicity, then we can say that it is pathological jaundice. Alright, like physiological jaundice appears after 24 hours of birth, but pathological jaundice appears within 24 hours of birth. Physiological jaundice, or when we talk about duration, then physiological jaundice, it resolves after 10 to 14 days according to the condition of the baby, but pathological jaundice sometimes remains even after the 1 week or 2 weeks or for few months also. Then is the pattern. Physiological jaundice rise is always cephalocaudal and it diminishes again from the caudocephalic pattern, right? But this is not the case of pathological jaundice. In this, there is quick rise of jaundice and it spreads quickly to the body. And there is risk of neurotoxicity. Physiological jaundice, as it rises to the maximum level of 12 milligram per dl and it resolves on its own, there is very low chance of neurotoxicity. But whenever physiological jaundice, because of some aggravating factors, enters into a limit of neurotoxicity, we can treat it as pathological jaundice. And other conditions also, when there is rise in bilirubin level to the critical levels causing neurotoxicity to the patient, or there are chances of neurotoxicity to the baby, then we can say that it is pathological jaundice. So talking about definition, if jaundice occurs within 24 hours of birth and if there are chances of neurotoxicity, then it is termed as pathological jaundice. Any one of the criteria, if it is fulfilled, either it is time of 24 hours or neurotoxicity, then we can term it under pathological jaundice. So what are the basic characteristics of pathological jaundice? If jaundice appears within 24 hours, is pathological jaundice. You have to remember this thing. Second very important thing, as we have already discussed in physiological jaundice, that in physiological jaundice, we have discussed that there is rise with the speed of less than 5 mg per dl. But if it changes, right? If there is increase of more than 5 milligram per dl, then we say that this is pathological jaundice. On second day, the rise is around 10 mg per dl, and on third day, it is around 12 to 13 mg per dl, which is not the case of physiological jaundice. Then we term it as pathological jaundice. And this jaundice sometimes persists for beyond 24 weeks if we go for pathological jaundice, right? And one more very important feature when we look at the pathological jaundice, if there is rise in conjugated bilirubin level, mostly there is, I have already discussed with you, whenever there is rise, there is usually rise of unconjugated bilirubin, right? But in some cases, there is also rise of conjugated bilirubin, and whenever there is rise in conjugated bilirubin, there will be staining of the nappy with urine. There will be yellowish discoloration of the nappy. So let us talk about some of the causes of pathological jaundice. So यहाँ पे मैंने कुछ list किए हैं reasons behind this. First is immaturity. What happens in immaturity? There are immature liver functions, right? So there is high bilirubin level in the blood. Second, hemolytic disease of newborns. This can be of two types. या तो ABO incompatibility हो सकता है, or it is Rh incompatibility. That is, if the mother has the blood group O in ABO incompatibility, if mother has blood group O and baby has blood group A, so as A blood group has antigen A, you all know this, right? And O blood group has no antigen. So sometimes this blood group O develops antibody against this antigen, right? And there occurs antigen antibody reaction and there is destruction of the cells leading to hemolysis and rise in bilirubin level. Same is the case with Rh incompatibility. If the mother is Rh negative and fetus is Rh positive, then mother develops antibodies against this Rh factor. And there again occurs whenever as there is no mixing of blood, you should know this, there is no mixing of blood between mother and the baby, but it occurs whenever there is hemorrhage and at the time of delivery, there occurs sometimes mixing of the blood of the mother and the baby, and some antibodies can seep into the body of the baby and cause antigen antibody reaction there, causing hemolysis of the blood and then rise in the bilirubin level, leading to pathological jaundice. If we talk about hypothyroidism, hypothyroidism results in cholestatic conditions with 50% decrease in bile flow. As there is reduced biliary output, there will be increase in conjugated bilirubin in the liver, leading to pathological jaundice again. When we talk about pyloric stenosis, you should know what is pyloric stenosis exactly. So here is the picture showing a pyloric stenosis condition. In this picture you can see, the first picture shows, this picture shows normal pylorus. This is the pyloric sphincter. It opens when here whole process of digestion is complete, then it opens and the food moves from this part to the duodenum. But sometimes there is stenosis, there is narrowing of this opening. And when there is narrowing of this opening, it is not easy to empty all the food from here to the duodenum. So because of this, हमें क्या होता है, क्योंकि पूरा खाना यहाँ से duodenum में नहीं जा पाता, we don't feel hungry or we feel less hungry. Because of that condition, क्योंकि हम खाना properly नहीं खाते, there is starvation, right? There occurs jaundice, occurs the condition of jaundice, right? Then is Crigler-Najjar syndrome, Gilbert syndrome. I will discuss about them soon, right? Concealed hemorrhage. In concealed hemorrhage also there is hemolysis. In malaria also, malaria increases the hemolysis, right? It can lead to hepatocellular dysfunctions as well. It can lead to disseminated intravascular coagulations and very much hemolysis resulting to bilirubin. Breast milk jaundice, I will talk about this later on in this video, but in this particular video, and some of the drugs also. They cause hyperbilirubinemic stages like oxytocin results in rise in hyperbilirubin levels. So there are some drugs also which can lead to hyperbilirubinemia. This is the condition of biliary atresia. Sometimes biliary atresia also leads to high bilirubin level. What is biliary atresia? There is a proper duct system causing leading to biliary output, right? You know all this. कि whenever there कि जब भी ये बनता है बाइल बनता है हमारा, तो वो एक राइट हिपैटिक डक्ट होती है, यहाँ पे ऐसे लीवर रहता है, राइट? एक राइट हिपैटिक डक्ट होती है, एक होती है लेफ्ट हिपैटिक डक्ट, राइट हिपैटिक डक्ट एंड लेफ्ट हिपैटिक डक्ट, राइट? ये दोनों डक्ट जुड़ती हैं और बनाती हैं एक कॉमन हिपैटिक डक्ट. देन एक cystic duct आती है from the gallbladder. Both hepatic duct and cystic duct combine to form a common bile duct, right? And this duct goes to the duodenum, and there it also fuses with the pancreatic duct, और एक common hepatopancreatic duct बन जाता है, which opens at the ampulla of Vater, which is in the duodenum, right? तो duodenum में जाके ये open हो जाती है at the ampulla of Vater. तो ऐसे करके ये drain होता है. पर sometimes there is atresia, sometimes यहाँ पे atresia हो सकता है, किसी भी लेवल पे कॉन्स्ट्रिक्शन हो सकती है. कॉन्स्ट्रिक्शन होने की वजह से क्या होगा, ब्लॉकेज होगी और जितना भी यहाँ पे सेक्रेशंस बन रही हैं, दे आर नॉट ड्रेन्ड आउट टू द duodenum and they start accumulating here and then they start leaking into the blood circulation and cause jaundice. And generally जो भी jaundice यहाँ पे होगा, that will be conjugated hyperbilirubinemia, right? Okay. So moving to next slide, as you know, we have already discussed the basic pathogenesis, basic pathophysiology of this hyperbilirubinemia. So you know that whenever there is rise in unconjugated or conjugated bilirubin level, unconjugated bilirubin, they are easily seen in our body, right, in body fluids, right. We have discussed about physiological jaundice, that there is either less action of the UGT, there is short lifespan of the RBCs, there is hyperactivity of the beta glucuronidases in the colon, that leads to the heavy rise in unconjugated bilirubin level. Some of the unconjugated bilirubin converts into conjugated bilirubin, so there is some amount of conjugated bilirubin also, but sometimes if it is aggravated by some other factors, it can lead to kernicterus stage or pathological jaundice stage, right? So physiological jaundice can also move to other levels. When we talk about Crigler-Najjar syndrome, what is this? In this, either there is no activity of glucuronyl transferase enzyme or there is less activity of glucuronyl transferase enzyme. Either no or very less. When there is no activity of glucuronyl transferase, there is no conversion of unconjugated bilirubin into conjugated bilirubin, right? ये process बिल्कुल नहीं होता उस time. बिल्कुल नहीं होता, unconjugated bilirubin keeps on rising, and there is no solution for that till then. So it has heavy unconjugated bilirubin level, more is the unconjugated bilirubin level. एक time आएगा जब albumin will not be sufficient to combine with unconjugated bilirubin, and that free unconjugated bilirubin can be toxic to the body. Same is the case with when there is very less UGT, very less glucuronyl transferase enzyme, then also there will be very high unconjugated bilirubin levels. So जो Crigler-Najjar syndrome है, that is deadly to the baby, right? It can lead to very devastating results, and generally it is seen that baby is not able to see his first birthday. So it is dangerous condition. Second condition is Gilbert's syndrome. Gilbert's syndrome is somewhat like Crigler-Najjar syndrome, but in this there is in case of very less UGT, there is low UGT level, right? इतना ज़्यादा severe नहीं होता है, low UGT level होता है. So most of the unconjugated bilirubin is converted into conjugated bilirubin and some amount is left. तो जो इन इस टाइप के पेशेंट्स में हमें क्या मिलता है कि देर इज रिकरेंट अटैक्स ऑफ हाइपरबिलिरुबिnemia. लाइक इफ द बेबी हैज 2 to 6 DL mg per DL of bilirubin in the blood, he will have treatment like phototherapy and all. He will recover, but he will again develop jaundice after few days or few months. So this is Gilbert syndrome. It is not serious condition. Generally, patients live with this syndrome through whole of their life, and it is not that much serious as compared to Crigler-Najjar syndrome. Then is Dubbin-Johnson syndrome. In this, there is no activity of MRP2 enzyme, the enzyme or a protein which is needed to transport conjugated bilirubin out of the hepatocytes into the glandular system. That protein doesn't work. So in this condition, there is heavy rise in conjugated bilirubinemia, okay, in the blood, and we can see that in the urine of the baby, right? And the very important is obstructive jaundice, which you generally see कि patient को stone है gallbladder में, or there is stone in the cystic duct. Because of that obstructive jaundice, again it will work as biliary atresia. As there is obstruction, there will be no drainage of the fluids from the liver or bile. Bile fluid will also not be secreted into the duodenum because of obstruction. So it will lead to rise in conjugated bilirubin level. As bile is also not drained, then bile salts will also be increased, and cholesterol will also be increased. So in such kind of patient, there will be pruritus because of the presence of bile salts, cholesterolemia because of the presence of cholesterol, xanthoma, steatoria, and reduced vitamin absorption. There will be fats in the urine also, in the feces also. तो steatoria भी मिलेगा उसमें हमें, because जो cholesterol है वो कहाँ जा रहा है, सारा blood में जा रहा है. It is not secreted, it is not assimilated in the body, right? So ये कुछ conditions हैं which can occur, some pathological conditions. Crigler-Najjar syndrome, Gilbert syndrome, Dubbin-Johnson syndrome. One is also Rotor syndrome. These all are genetic disorders related to the hyperbilirubinemic stage in a newborn. So talking about non-obstructive and non-hemolytic jaundice. So these are non-hemolytic jaundice. You can see there is no more damage of the RBCs. And these are non-obstructive even. There is no obstruction, right? There is only problem with the enzymes which are working with the hepatic phase of the bilirubin metabolism. So Crigler-Najjar syndrome can be of type 1. We can revise this here. Type 1 and type 2. Type 1, there is complete absence of glucuronide transferase enzyme, and there is severe unconjugated bilirubin level rise up, and it can rise up to 25 to 35 milligrams per dl, leading to connectrous irreversible stages sometimes. And type 2, there is less glucuronide transferase enzyme, and again the condition is same. In Gilbert syndrome, there is reduced activity of glucuronide transferase enzyme, and it is not a severe condition. There is approximately 1 to 6 mg per dl rise. I have already discussed with you. So there is a kind of three type of deficiency of glucuronide transferase. Either it is mild, moderate, or severe. Mild, moderate, or severe. And Gilbert syndrome is a kind of mild deficiency, right? It is a kind of mild deficiency. And Crigler-Najjar syndrome is a kind of moderate and severe deficiency. And severe deficiency is a type 1 Crigler-Najjar syndrome. Then is a Dubbin-Johnson syndrome. Dubbin-Johnson syndrome, there is absence of the function of MRP2 transporter protein. So there will be rise in the bilirubin levels. And the features which are mainly shown by the patient is abdominal pain, fatigue, jaundice, and dark urine. Because urine में ज़्यादा secrete होएगा then. Because blood में जा रहा है, kidney will filter it. So urine में ज़्यादा secrete होता है, then the urine is dark. Rocher syndrome also, there is increased total urine coproporphyrin, leading to rise in bilirubinemia. So treatment of all these diseases is ultimately phototherapy or exchange blood transfusion, or we can give phenobarbital. I will talk about the treatment in my further videos. So keep watching my videos till then. Moving to the next slide. What is breast milk jaundice? Breast milk jaundice generally persists as physiological jaundice, or it appears on the 7th day. Either the baby has physiological jaundice and it added on into the physiological jaundice, or it solely appears on the 7th day. It is never severe, and maximum intensity is between 10 to 14th day. And the factors responsible are basically, two factors are very much responsible. One is 3-alpha-2-beta pregnanediol. It is said that this is sometimes present in the milk of the mother, right? And it interferes with the hepatic conjugation. And when it is compromised, hepatic conjugation, there is rise in bilirubin levels. And it is also that there are high level of beta glucuronidases. This is also kind of glucuronidase, 3-alpha beta. And these also increase the enterohepatic circulation. So जो extra load होता है unconjugated bilirubin का, that is increased from the colon to the hepatic system. So because of that, there is a huge rise in the bilirubin level, leading to approximate 18 mg per dl of serum bilirubin. And it is seen that this usually rises during the first 3 days of the birth because there is inadequate lactation. Right? Clinical findings: the baby passes colorless urine. It is colorless urine. Golden yellow stool will be there, and it is diagnosed through as if we stop breastfeeding for at least 24 to 48 hours, there will be quick fall in the serum bilirubin levels. So in such conditions, breastfeeding is continued because this disease is benign in nature. It does not cause any kind of connectrous kind of conditions. So it is a safe bilirubin level limit through breast milk jaundice. What to do if you see a baby with pathological jaundice, right? What are the things you are going to do? So workup for that is, if the infant is more than 35 weeks of gestation, this is a reference from the Nelson Book of Pediatrics. If the jaundice appears in first 24 hours, then you know it is pathological jaundice. Then you should go for measuring TSB levels. You should measure total serum bilirubin levels. You should also measure, or you can take transcutaneous bilirubinometer for measuring transcutaneous bilirubin levels. Right? If jaundice appears excessive for infant's age, in that condition also you should measure total serum bilirubin levels. And if the serum bilirubin level in some conditions, if it is high and baby is under phototherapy, even under phototherapy, if infant is receiving phototherapy and still there is unexplained rise in jaundice, there is no fall, instead jaundice is rising, then you should go for at least blood type of the baby. What kind of blood? कहीं और pathology तो नहीं है, like RS isoimmunization or AB incompatibility तो नहीं है. तो उन सबको रूल आउट करने के लिए आपको बच्चे का ब्लड ग्रुप करवाना चाहिए, डायरेक्ट कोम टेस्ट करवाना ज़रूरी है, सीबीसी करवाना ज़रूरी है, टोटल सीरम बिलिरुबिन करवाना ज़रूरी है, डायरेक्ट और इनडायरेक्ट बोथ, एंड रेटिकुलोसाइट करवाना ज़रूरी है कि हाउ मच रेटिकुलोसाइट्स आर देयर, कितना सेल्स बन रहा है. दिस विल शो दैट ईदर इट इज hemolysis or not. If reticulocyte count is high, it means there is hemolysis, right? No response. If there is no response to phototherapy and serum bilirubin level is increased to a level of exchange blood transfusion, कि आपको एक ब्लड ट्रांसफ्यूजन करना पड़ सकता है, इतना ज़्यादा राइज हो रहा है, तो आपको बच्चे का G6PD लेवल भी करवाना ज़रूरी है और एल्बुमिन लेवल करवाना भी ज़रूरी हो जाता है. And if you see that there is elevated conjugated bilirubin level, a conjugated bilirubin level is rarely increased, and if it is increased, then you should go for urine analysis. यूरिन में तो नहीं आ रहा है तो आप यूरिन चेक करवाएंगे, उसमें कौन से पिगमेंट्स हैं, यूरिन कल्चर करवाना पड़ता है हमें, एंड वी हैव टू इवेलुएट द बेबी फॉर सेप्सिस, कि किस तरह का इन्फेक्शन तो नहीं है, कि सब कुछ ठीक हो रहा है बट कॉन्जुगेटेड बिलिरुबिन लीक आउट हो रहा है, राइट? तो हमें सेप्सिस के लिए करवाना है. Then jaundice present at or beyond age of 3 weeks of sick infants. In such conditions, we have to go for TSB, conjugated bilirubin level. We have to measure cholestasis. कि cholestasis की condition तो नहीं है, तो उसमें भी हम blood test properly करवाएंगे, bile pigments तो नहीं है, and we have to rule out hypothyroidism because in that case also there is reduced biliary output. So in those conditions, sometimes bilirubin rises or remains till the age of also 3 to 4 weeks and baby is sick. In such conditions, we have to go for these investigations. Once we are done, we come to a conclusion, we go for treatment. In cases, if there is rise in increased direct bilirubin, if there is a rise in indirect bilirubin, we go for two type of test. We go for direct comb test, right? हम DCT कराते हैं. DCT डायरेक्ट कोम टेस्ट क्या होता है कि ये डायरेक्ट बच्चे के ब्लड पे किया जाता है, राइट? ये ब्लड सेल्स पे अगर एंटीजन एंटीबॉडी रिएक्शन हो रहा है तो बच्चे की बॉडी पे, बच्चे के ब्लड सेल पे क्या है, एंटीजन है, मदर से एंटीबॉडी आई, उस एंटीजन से रिएक्ट करी, तो वहाँ पे एंटीजन एंटीबॉडी कॉम्प्लेक्स बनता है. तो जब हम DCT टेस्ट करते हैं वो डायरेक्ट किस पे करता है, ब्लड के सेल्स पे टेस्ट करता है, तो उसको रिकॉग्नाइज कर लेता है. अगर वो पॉजिटिव आता है कोम टेस्ट, इट मीन्स वहाँ पे hemolysis हो रही है और रिएक्शन हो रहा है, राइट? तो इफ टेस्ट इज पॉजिटिव then it means there is isoimmunization kind of problem, either there is ABO incompatibility or RH incompatibility or there is other blood group kind of incompatibility, right? ये समझ आ गया आप सबको कि जैसे ये बच्चे का ब्लड ग्रुप है और ये मदर का ब्लड ग्रुप है, राइट? मदर के ब्लड ग्रुप ने बच्चे के ब्लड ग्रुप के अगेंस्ट एक एंटीबॉडी बनाई है, इमेजिन दिस इज एंटीबॉडी, और यहाँ पे बच्चे के ब्लड ग्रुप पे दिस इज एंटीजन, राइट? तो ये जो एंटीबॉडी है इसके साथ आके रिएक्ट करती है, जब ये रिएक्ट करती है तो यहाँ पे बनता है एंटीजन एंटीबॉडी कॉम्प्लेक्स. तो इस कॉम्प्लेक्स को DCT में वो रिकॉग्नाइज कर लेता है टेस्ट और पॉजिटिव आ जाता है. अगर टेस्ट पॉजिटिव आता है इट मीन्स देयर कैन बी दीज कंडीशन. इन्हीं कंडीशंस में होता है ये सब जो हम ऑलरेडी 4th 5th स्लाइड में डिस्कस कर चुके हैं. बट इफ इट इज नेगेटिव, अगर DCT नेगेटिव आता है इट मीन्स ये कंडीशन है ही नहीं इनकम्पेटिबिलिटी की, राइट? हेमोलिटिक डिजीज ऑफ न्यूबॉर्न है ही नहीं. हेमोलिटिक डिजीज ऑफ न्यूबॉर्न नहीं है तो क्या है? तो उसके लिए हम क्या करवाते हैं, हीमोग्लोबिन करवाते हैं बच्चे का. हीमोग्लोबिन लेवल कितना है? इफ हीमोग्लोबिन लेवल इज नॉर्मल और लो, then we go for reticulocyte count, RBC cells का काउंट करवाते हैं, right? And if hemoglobin level is raised, then it is a condition of polycythemia. तो polycythemia अगर है बच्चे में, then maybe there is twin transfusion, maybe there is maternal fetal transfusion, there is delayed cord clamping, or there is small gestational age of the baby. In such conditions, there is a condition of polycythemia, that is formation of more and more RBCs. RBCs बहुत ज़्यादा बनते हैं. तो हम रेटिकुलोसाइट काउंट करवाते हैं. इफ रेटिकुलोसाइट काउंट करवाते हैं, इफ इट इज इंक्रीज्ड, देन वी गो फॉर रेड सेल मॉर्फोलॉजी. रेड सेल्स की एक ब्लड फिल्म करवाते हैं और देखते हैं कि रेड सेल की शेप कैसी है. इफ रेड सेल्स की मॉर्फोलॉजी में कोई स्पेसिफिक चेंज नहीं आता है, देयर इज नो स्पेसिफिक चेंज, and reticulocyte count is also normal, red cell morphology is also normal, दोनों चीजें नॉर्मल आती हैं, hemoglobin is also normal और low, then we can say कि there can be some hemorrhage जिसकी वजह से hemolysis ज्यादा हो रहा है, हो सकता है neonatal asphyxia है जिसकी वजह से RBC जल्दी डैमेज हो रहे हैं, इनएडिक्वेट कैलोरी इनटेक है जिसकी वजह से एनर्जी नहीं है टू मेक मोर आरबीसीज, एटीपीज नहीं है जो कि हमें रिक्वायर्ड होता है आगे प्रोसेस में, तो इट मे लीड टू rise in indirect bilirubin levels. But if there is high reticulocyte count which is increased but there is normal cell morphology on blood filming, then we can say that there can be G6PD deficiency or there can be disseminated intravascular coagulopathies conditions, right? तो ये सारी deficiencies हमें आगे hyper conjugated bilirubin, unconjugated bilirubin cause कर सकती हैं. If we talk about characteristics, and if we see that reticulocyte count is increased and there is also change in the cell morphology, there is change in the shape of the cells of shape of reticulocytes, उसकी shape भी changed है, number भी increased है, then we can go for the shape. What kind of shape it is? Either it is spherocytosis or it is leptocytosis or stomatocytosis or pycnocytosis. In all this condition, there is an irregular shape of the cells, and because of that irregular shape, the RBCs go quick damage, right? And it will rise indirect bilirubin levels. So these are the causes behind increased indirect bilirubin levels and how the test suggests us what can be the specific cause behind. Talking about increased bilirubin level after first week of life, generally, if there is, we have already discussed indirect bilirubin levels, and what are the conditions there is increasing direct bilirubin levels. If conjugated bilirubin is increased, that is direct bilirubin, then there can be sepsis because सारा process ठीक चल रहा है. Problem कहाँ आ रही है? जब conjugated bilirubin ने body में आना है, release होना है, वहां से canalicular system में जाके उसने हमारे गट में जाना है, वहां पे जाके यूटिलाइज होना है, वहां पे प्रॉब्लम आ रही है. तो दिस अकर्स इन द कंडीशन ऑफ सेप्सिस. सेप्सिस में क्या होता है कि सेल्स की लीकेज स्टार्ट हो जाती है, सेल वॉल लीकी हो जाती है, वहां से लीक आउट होना शुरू कर देता है ये. सेकंड, इंट्रायूट्राइन इन्फेक्शंस में भी यही होगा, सेम विल बी द कंडीशन. बाइल एसिड मेटाबॉलिज्म का कोई डिसऑर्डर हो सकता है. सीवियर हिमोलिटिक डिजीजेस में ये कंडीशन आती है. बाइल डक्ट की पॉसिटी रह सकती है. बिलियरी एट्रीजिया हम ऑलरेडी डिस्कस कर चुके हैं. हेपेटाइटिस हो सकता है, सिस्ट हो सकती है, फाइब्रोसिस हो सकता है, या मेटाबॉलिक डिसऑर्डर्स भी हो सकते हैं लाइक गैलेक्टोसीमिया एक्सेट्रा. तो इन सब कंडीशंस में डायरेक्ट बिलिरुबिन जो है वो बढ़ जाता है बॉडी में. सो व्हाट कुड बी द ट्रीटमेंट देन? सो ट्रीटमेंट जो है वो अकॉर्डिंगली करते हैं हम, जैसा बिहाइंड उसके पीछे कॉज रहता है, वॉट एवर बी द कॉज, उसके अकॉर्डिंग डिजीज की ट्रीटमेंट की जाती है. सो ट्रीटमेंट क्या होगी? अगर सेप्सिस है तो हम एंटीबायोटिक्स के लिए जाएंगे अकॉर्डिंग टू द सेप्सिस दैट इज प्रेजेंट. अगर बिलियरी एट्रीजिया है तो एट्रीजिया को हमें रिमूव ही करना पड़ेगा. व्हेनेवर देयर इज ब्लॉकेज इट हैज टू बी रिमूव्ड. तो हम उसके लिए सर्जिकल मैनेजमेंट करते हैं विद इन 2 months ऑफ एज, और विटामिन के का इंजेक्शन देते हैं टू रिड्यूस हिमोलिसिस. 5 mg इंट्रामस्कुलर दिया जाता है विटामिन के. और या फिर या तो उसको रिमूव कर दो अगर कम है एट्रीजिया. अगर एट्रीजिया ज्यादा है तो समटाइम्स क्साई हैंड्स प्रोसीजर करना पड़ता है जिसमें कि हिपैटोपोटो एंट्रोस्टोमी की जाती है. डायरेक्ट ड्रेनेज कर दी जाती है बाइल सेक्रेशंस की इनटू द ड्यूडेनम. ठीक है, तो हिपैटोपोटो एंट्रोस्टोमी, हिपैटिक सिस्टम को और एंटेरिक सिस्टम जो हमारी गट है उसको डायरेक्टली कनेक्ट किया जाता है, या तो ये कर सकते हैं. मेटाबॉलिक डिसऑर्डर्स हैं तो उसमें हम ज़्यादातर गैलेक्टोज के होते हैं, G6PD डेफिशिएंसी हो सकती है, तो उनमें लैक्टोज और सुक्रोज को डाइट से रिमूव किया जाता है. और कॉलिस्टेटिक हेपेटाइटिस है, दैट इज कॉलिस्टेसिस हो रही है, तो लो फैट हाई प्रोटीन डाइट देंगे क्योंकि फैट्स इंक्रीज कर जाते हैं ब्लड में, तो प्रोटीन ज़्यादा दिया जाता है और फैट कम दिया जाता है. विटामिन ई सप्लीमेंटेशन दी जाती है, कैल्शियम, फॉस्फेट, जिंक. वाटर सॉल्युबल विटामिन ज़्यादा क्वांटिटी में दिए जाते हैं. विटामिन के इज अगेन the drug of choice in case of bilirubinemia. 5 mg IM, and always remember vitamin K1 is given. It is safe. Vitamin K3 aggravates bilirubin level. Cholestyramine resin दिया जाता है 0.25 gram per kg per day, और because it is cholestasis again we can give ursodeoxycholic acid 10 to 15 mg per kg per day जो कि यूडिलिब के नाम से आता है. And very important, the treatment is phototherapy to reduce bilirubin levels. फोटोथेरेपी हम किसी भी कंडीशन में दे सकते हैं, राइट. फोटोथेरेपी देने का फायदा ये रहता है कि बिलिरुबिन लेवल को हम क्रिटिकल लेवल पे जाने से रोक सकते हैं, राइट. कंजुगेटेड बिलिरुबिन अगर है समटाइम्स उसमें ब्रॉन्ज बेबी सिंड्रोम होने के चांसेस रहते हैं. वी विल डिस्कस अबाउट phototherapy in detail in our coming videos. If phototherapy is not successful, then we have to go for exchange blood transfusion, which is the ultimate treatment of choice. And medicines also somewhere act on this system. Some of the medicines are given in genetic disorders. So we will talk about all these three in our coming videos. But the next video is on kernicterus. We will talk about that, and later on we will talk about the treatment related to all the pathologies of neonatal jaundice. Till then, take care.